There's a question that is often asked by autistic people as children, which is, am I an alien? When I first heard that as a fact, I thought, well, I've never queried it. I've never thought I was an alien. But then the other day I was putting some blue in my hair because I was having a bad day, and putting a little bit of colour through my hair often helps. It's not come out quite right. And as I looked at it later, I thought the way I'd done it at that point, it kind of looks like my hair's growing out, the dye's growing out, and the blue is my natural colour. I've added a bit more since, so you can't really tell as well. And that made me think about this question, am I an alien? And I remembered a conversation I'd had with my dad when I was little. Not that I was an alien, but I was pretty convinced that at some point the Starship Voyager was going to come and collect me, because I understood the rules of life aboard that ship, and I didn't understand the rules of life in this world. And then I thought a bit more, because I had this conversation about maybe I was a lost member of crew on a starship. I don't know. And I realised I've never thought I was an alien, but I have wondered if I'm a changeling. I think aliens maybe weren't really in my awareness, especially when I was little, except in Star Trek. But fairies were. I grew up reading a lot of fairy stories. I still love fairy stories. And I understood changelings, and I had a pretty good sense of them. And there's a story about eggshells, about a woman who believes that her children have been replaced with changelings, and she is told to take a break and egg and use that bit of eggshell to cook him and listen to what the children say. And they are small toddlers, and they make some comment along, I have seen this and this and this, but I've never seen someone cook in an eggshell. So she knows they're changelings. And I was pretty traumatised by that story, because I felt as though that would have caught me out as well. And that was when I started to question, am I a changeling? Am I fey-blooded? Which sounds quite cool. And I think some part of me accepted that, this idea that I had fairy blood in me, ancestral fairy blood. And I kind of liked that feeling, which maybe is why it's a bit hard to talk about right now, and it makes me a bit sad, because what I think of as being my fey blood is probably actually the autism, being autistic. And that makes me feel, I guess because part of me does believe it's fairy blood, it makes me feel as though maybe all autistic people are changelings. We're all somewhere in our ancestry touched by the wild, by the fae, the fair folk. And I know it's ridiculous, but I kind of like that. There's a lot of overlap between fairies and changelings. Fairies and aliens. A lot of the mythology, when people talk about alien abductions today, you can see parallel myths in the past, but it was always the fairies that were blamed. So when autistic people are asking, am I an alien? What they're probably really asking is, am I fey? Am I a changeling? And maybe we are. Maybe that's what's going on. Or maybe that's just a nice metaphor to look at it through. And this is one of the things that I think is important, is that we're always told people can't believe two conflicting things at the same time, which is of course nonsense, because we all believe conflicting things all of the time. But it's something I'm very aware of doing. I am capable of being a complete believer and a complete atheist at the exact same moment, and then having a little bit of me in the middle that both believes and doesn't believe and is able to balance that. And it doesn't bother me, it doesn't mess with my brain to have that. Yeah. So maybe I am a changeling. Maybe you are too.